The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning from TFNN. Welcome to the August 20th. Wonderful Wednesday edition of the Opening Bell on The Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, the daily newsletter service that is the intelligence for creating financial freedom. I hope everyone out there had a terrific Tuesday. Let's make sure that you and I, that we do everything we can in our power to have a wonderful Wednesday. And during the next couple hours, I'll do everything in my power to achieve the outcome of sharing with you extraordinary tools that we use in helping us to identify where price is headed to. No matter whether it's a stock, a commodity, a currency, no matter what time frame it is that we trade, we take a look at those A to B equals CD tools. We take a look at Fibonacci expansions and retracements, and we also look at those Japanese candlesticks, because those are the signs that the bulls and bears make for you and I each and every trading session. Now, here's the cool thing. The cool thing is this is an interactive show. That means you can give us a call. You can give me a call here. We'll take a look at your trading ideas, maybe something that you're in, help you identify areas of support and resistance. We'll use every tool in the book that we've got here to help you identify where price is headed to. Just give us a call at 877-927-6648, or you can call us internationally at 727-445-1044. And then together, you and I, we can go hunting for the bulls and the bears. But before we begin the show, we should always remember this. The power of words are immense. You see, a well-chosen word has often stopped a fleeing army. It's changed defeat into victory. Now, we don't want to do that one. It's changed defeat into victory, and it's gone on to save the empire out there. I'll do everything I can to choose my words wisely. This is Wonderful Wednesday. This is Tiger Financial News Network, TFNN. I'm Steve Rhodes, and welcome to the show. Right now, as we take a look at the markets, we've got the Dow trading off about 9 points, trading out at 16,870. S&P off 1.5 trading at 1975. NASDAQ futures are flat. Russell 2000 down just a bit. King Dollar up 168 ticks, up 16 pennies, trading out at $82.10. Little movement in the euro, little movement in the pound, little movement in the Japanese yen. So we'll go take a look at the currency pairs. Goldilocks is flat right now. She's trading at $12.9670. Perhaps getting ready for the big kibosh to the downside out there. Silver's up 11 cents. She's trading at $19.52. Light sweet crude up $1.22. That's trading out at $95.70. A quick peek across the globe out here. We're going to find over in Europe, the DAX is off 72 points, down 0.7%. The FTSE off 33 points, down trading out at 67.45. What's interesting about the DAX is the DAX yesterday made that 0.382 retracement, and now it's trading lower. Now, that's not so unusual. Usually you get to one of these Fibonacci floors, and then you start to back off the gas a little bit. And that may be what's going on inside of the DAX, and maybe that's setting a tone for our markets here as well, in that we should expect maybe a slight pullback today, something we haven't seen for the last week or so out here, last more than a week as far as trading sessions go. Over in over in Asia last night, a little bit of a mixed bag. The Shanghai was off 5 points. That's 0.25%. The Hang Seng was up about 1/10, a little over 0.1%, up 36 points. It closed at 25,159, and the Nikkei basically unchanged out there. Now, in the pre-market here, perhaps I just was scanning through some charts before I came on the air, and the chart that looks pretty ominous out here as we speak right now is Lowe's. Now, Lowe's was out with earnings. We had a big move yesterday after the Home Depot numbers came out, and, Lowe's moved higher as well. In fact, the thing is about Lowe's is that it gapped up yesterday. And it gapped up. I think I maybe even mentioned this if we took a look at Home Depot. It probably has that same chart pattern out here. But it's Lowe's that we want to be paying attention to. So they're out with numbers. Let me see what their numbers, what did they report out here? I don't show the exact numbers, so let's not worry about it. Let's take a look where price is trading right now. $50, even Steven. The low of yesterday is $51.28. If it doesn't get up to 51.28 today, I don't know whether it will or won't. Let me expand the chart out here. If it doesn't get up to 51.28, if it does really open in that $50 range here this morning and continues its move lower, what Lowe's will have created is an island reversal top, island top reversal, whichever way you want to express those words out there. Island top reversal, that sounds better. And it will have done it at all-time highs. If we put this on the monthly chart out here, just so you can take a quick peek at it, monthly chart for Lowe's. I don't know how the trading is going to end up today. What I do know is what we want to be paying attention to. Here's Lowe's. So you are at all-time highs on a monthly chart, by the way. The market profile resistance, $50.67. It's an area where price has struggled to get above. The first test of that area came back in February 2014 and then in March as well. Now this is the second time up there. The monthly chart looks pretty good. Does have a slight price relative strength divergent pattern out here, but just slight one as we speak right now. But let's come back to the daily chart. So it'll be very interesting to watch where Lowe's trades out. My inclination is that we'll see a push up in the 51.28 level, but that's just inclination. It doesn't really matter. What I do know is that Lowe's, if it doesn't do that today, it will, and it does gap down below the 51.28 level, it will have set up one of the most bearish reversal signals. Now, the cool thing about that for both the bulls and the bears is because this would be one of the most bearish signals out there, there's nothing more bullish than a failed bearish pattern. How about that? For your try to say that 3 times in a row very fast, although that might not be too bad to do. But that is that's how we'll want to be paying attention to Lowe's out here. So it could be now. Where can Lowe's fall back to? Well, 47.62 is its market profile low. Old resistance, which should become new support, 48.44. If that area fails, then 47.62. Lowe's doesn't break a swing point until it gets all the way back to the July 10th session, down at about the 46.48 level. It does have this little sign of strength, as yesterday was certainly a sign of strength. It has another one that's right out here from August the 8th, 7.3 million shares. So we'll continue. We'll check back in Lowe's after the market opens. But as I scan the charts and just take a look at what's going on, what movement I see out here, that's the biggest thing for us to take a look at. If we go take a look at the futures markets, let's look at the daily charts out here. The daily charts right now, we'll start off here taking a look at the Russell 2000. You can see a little bearish engulfing candle that has formed here today. 10-minute delay on the data feed here. The Russell 2000... at this stage, it still looks like it wants to try to make its way up to the 1169 area, but we'll take things one step at a time. If we look at the NASDAQ, we'll go into the lower right-hand side out here. The NASDAQ trading at 4,033. The daily chart not showing us any significant reversal pattern here, just simply since the overnight session really just trading sideways, probably regurgitating. I don't know if that's a good word to use, but it's digesting. Let's talk about that. That sounds a little bit nicer, right? Who wants to regurgitate? It's digesting what's going on over in Europe as we speak right now. If we take a look at the Dow futures yesterday making the 0.786 retracement. So if we're going to teach about A to B equals CD patterns, the A to B point, in this case here inside of the Dow, your A point is going to be the high out here from July 17th. I believe that in the futures market. 17,085 is a number. 17,085. So that's your A point. In fact, so much so I should just change this Fibonacci retracement level. Let's go put the right one in. I don't want to confuse anybody out there. So if we take a look at the retracement from the high to the low, that means the trading session of July 17th down to the low that was put in here on August the 8th. That low out there, by the way, is 16,208. You'll see that price made it right back to the 0.786 retracement level. 16,897 is the number. It actually got up to 16,899. You got to love that. $2. Now, no reversal signal here, but we do want to watch it. We do want to watch today's market especially. There were some clues yesterday, and I described them inside my newsletter service this morning. There's some real clues that a top, so short-term top, could be in place out here. When the market's going to turn, it gives you certain signals. In this case here, we saw those signals actually take place yesterday. Yeah, even though the market was up strongly, dollar-wise and so forth, there was a signal out there. It's a pretty good signal, by the way, that a top could be in store. Now, if that is the case, if the market were to start down, we cannot rule out anything. We always have to take a look at the bullish case and the bearish case out here. If the market were to start its way down, well, the Dow futures have made its way back right to one of the levels where that would take place at the 0.786 retracement area. So it's important for us to be paying attention to that. In fact, if we take a look at the NASDAQ out here, I'll go back to the NASDAQ, and if we went from the swing point high out here at 39.91, down to the low out here on that trading session of August 8th. You'll see that, whoops, sorry about that, meant to stop it there. You'll see that the price got up to the 1.272 expansion. Now, there's no A to B equals CD to get us up there. That means there's no butterfly pattern that actually set up inside of the NASDAQ. It just simply made a 1.272 expansion. That's all that it did out there. As I try to erase this, get rid of that. Come on, don't tell me that my delete key. Oh, maybe I didn't do this. There we go. There we go. Okay. So it's made a 1.272 expansion. So it's kind of it's in harmony from a Fibonacci standpoint, the NASDAQ and the Dow. The Russell, not so much. But if we take a look at the ES Mini, let's look at the S&P futures contract here. We'll see that they're close to making a move of a move. That means they're trading into the little doji session out here from July 24th. Oftentimes you do that, and the market does something else other than with its continued track out there. So today's going to be an interesting trading session. 877-927-6648. Steve Rhodes at TFNN. We'll be right back, folks.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. We've just launched one of our best Tiger Dollar sales ever. Right now, you can get a 40% bonus on any Tiger Dollar purchase through Sunday, August 24th. That's right, a 40% bonus. If you're a current subscriber, then this might be the easiest 40% you can make all year. And if you're thinking about subscribing, then get your Tiger Dollars now with a 40% bonus. They never expire and can be used for any TFNN product or service. For all the details, visit TFNN.com and lock in your 40% Tiger Dollar bonus today. The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
With the launch of TigerTV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Think or Swim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing. Steve takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. Dow futures off 16 points. S&P futures off 3 points. I was scanning through some of the some of the earlier conversation in the den, and saw some discussion there about some things that were discovered by accident. So many things in life, folks, that have been discovered by accident that have had such great uses for them. I mentioned a few out there. I think it was things like chocolate chip cookies and potato chips. Now, those are good things. Can you imagine our life without chocolate chip cookies and potato chips out there? That'd be no life at all. Actually, one thing that I know that was discovered by accident that had a major impact to each of us out there is Scotchgard. Now, the interesting thing about Scotchgard is this. I was fortunate enough, back in the early 80s, I started a division of a publicly held microcomputer company in Florida. It was in the Orlando area. And in 5 years, we expanded that from basically zero to generating $100 million a year in sales. So it was a great time to be in the computer industry. That's when I met Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, all the guys from IBM, Compaq. I mean, at that stage, it was, because it was the early 80s, it was really as things were just starting to get going. In fact, we developed the first store that we built was 13,000 square feet. That was unheard of back in 1983. It ended up being the model that you see today, and the only thing that is really left out there, the Comp USA stores. So that was the model. That store that we developed in Altamont Springs was the model for that. Now, in order to be able to grow a business from $0 to $100 million in the state of Florida, you have to really be on top of everything, and you're going after a lot of large businesses. The first year it was going after the bedroom community. We thought that we envisioned back then in 1983 that you'd have a computer in every room of the house, but personal computing never took off back in the 80s. Today, a whole different story out there. So we were just a little bit before our time. So then we switched to selling to corporations. Well, one of the corporations that we eventually got to was one of the later ones in the late stages of the game was NASA. And I went out to myself, the actual CEO of the public company, a couple other guys, went out to NASA, and they were looking to, at that stage, they had such a hodgepodge of computer equipment in there that they wanted to see if we could help them pull it all together. Now, the cool thing was they gave us what's referred to as the Gold Tour. And the Gold Tour, VIP Tour, they took us out to the space shuttle, to the, we walked into the vehicle assembly building, they call the VAB, I believe it is. And literally in that building, the problem that they have, it's so tall that there are clouds that can form up at the top out there. But here's the deal. At that time, let me get to the real thing about Scotchgard out here. At that time, because there were so many stories, there were so many things I could tell about that I could probably an entire hour that would just kind of blow your mind. But at that time, you may remember they were having trouble with the tiles falling off of the space shuttle. And that was creating some problems, right, with those tiles falling off. And they decided in one instance to use Scotchgard. They'd done some testing, and they found that Scotchgard actually was, because it was condensation that was getting through, that was having those tiles fall off on re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. So they figured, they were doing some testing. They said Scotchgard was helping to improve it. But picture this. Now, this is in the Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, Vero Beach area, Daytona area, that whole thing. They sent out folks to every store, every grocery store, buying bottles and cans of Scotchgard, spraying the space shuttle. That's a true story. There's a movie out there. I know that, I think it's the movie when they, is it Armageddon or whatever the movie is, when they are going up to land on the meteor. Somebody out there probably knows the which movie that is. And there's a guy, I think Bruce Willis is in that, maybe, and there's another guy. He's on a number of sitcoms out there. But he says there's one point. Maybe you remember this line if you've seen that movie a few times. He says, that can you believe it? They're going up on this spaceship with 1.5 million parts or something like that. All that went out to the lowest bidder. Let me tell you, folks, that is such a true statement. And having gone through the story that I went through, that entire day, and having taken a look at everything that NASA did, we actually, at the end of the day, we passed on the opportunity because it was really all about the lowest bidder. And at that stage, they really weren't. And you could see all of the problems that they had there. The computers that ran the space shuttle, Mod Comp 64s, because of all the software that was built back then. The computers that we were selling as desktops were so much more powerful than those units out there. Anyways, a crazy story. It just kind of got me to the Scotchgard thing. Sorry for kind of reminiscing, but oh well. When we get back, we'll go take a look at the markets. We'll go take a look at some things popping and dropping out there. But that's Stevie's story about Scotchgard. We'll be right back, folks.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or TigerTV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're off to the races. We got the Dow up 14 points. Trading out at 16,905. S&P off 2.5, trading at 1978. NASDAQ Composite down 7 points, trading out at 45.20. Russell 2000 off 5, trading at 11.57. And we got our island out here. Lowe's has officially formed that island. We'll see where our trading ends today, but it'll need one heck of a move northward in order to get rid of that island reversal candle out there. Now, how did it form that? Well, if you take a look at the prior session on April 18th as well as April 15th, we're going to go to the April 15th session out here because that is really the session that we want to pay attention to. That high was $51.19, and yesterday's low was $51.28. That was 9 pennies, all the difference in the world in order to now be able to create that island reversal top that we have inside of Lowe's. Today with the gap down, the high so far being 50.20. There is your island reversal. Those are as bearish, and they are difficult they're difficult formations. Now, of course, Amazon, just as an example, has got now an island bottom. Now, what's more difficult about this is taking place at all-time highs on the daily chart out there. So we'll see how the weekly plays out with inside of Lowe's out there. AMZN for Amazon. I'll show you the pattern out here. You've got the daily chart. You've got this little island bottom that formed, and that formed over a period of time. That period of time being July 25th on that gap down with volume out here, and then all the way through the trading session of August 12th. That's where your island is at. What happened on August 13th was we saw Amazon gap up higher, creating that little island formation. Now, that did not occur down at the lows, but that doesn't mean that this is not a valid pattern. It is a valid pattern out here. And in the case of Amazon, it hasn't done much really since then. We saw a little bit of follow through August 14th, but these, the body of price is truly, the body of the candle is truly the essence of price out here. And we've seen 3 days in a row, we'll see if today is a 4th day, where price has gone nowhere inside of Amazon. So more comfortable that high that we saw yesterday inside of Lowe's is really significant compared to the low that we just saw down here, this island bottom inside of Amazon. In both cases, though, very important, because if the lows in Amazon get taken out, again, nothing more bearish than a failed bullish pattern, nothing more bullish than a failed bearish pattern out there, and that's what we've got going on inside those equities. Jump into the upside out here. Let's take a look at Hain Celestial. They're out with numbers generating net sales of 583 versus 463, so nice growth there. Also growth on the net income line, 35 million versus 25.9, gapping up this morning, up about 7%. Let's go see what Hain Celestial is doing out here. Nice, that was a high volume low, but not really wide price spread on the trading session here of June 27th. Nonetheless, that level was tested. Looks like a butterfly pattern that it formed as it made its low back here on August the 5th. A butterfly pattern having the A to B equals CD. Let me go ahead. I'll draw that tool in here. The A point, in order to form that pattern, that would be the high. Well, come on, do this for me. There you go. There's the A point, the high out here, which was on July 2nd. The B point being the July 18th low. The C point looks like probably being this high out here on July 29th. The 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. To the downside, 81.43 is the price projection. It didn't get all the way down there. It got down to 81.67. Good enough for me in my line of work. And then what you need is an expansion of swing points. Well, the expansion of swing points, if we take a look at that, that's going to be the low from the trading session right here on June 27th, all the way to the high that came in on July 2nd, where we started our A to B equals CD. It got more than a 1 to 1.272 expansion. Let's take a look at it. It looks like close to a 1 to 1.6 when it didn't get down there. It was really in between those levels. The 1.272 expansion was 83.07. That's where the body of the candle actually stopped. The 1 to 1.618 down at the 80.48 level. Nonetheless, it did form a butterfly pattern out there. Now, that's what it did. Let's go take a look at what it's doing as we speak right now. Let's get rid of these two patterns out here. Give me a moment. We'll clear that out. And let's go take a look and see what it is likely to travel into. So as we take a look at Hain Celestial, today breaking a trend line, I can clearly see that out here. It is traveling into its most recent swing points out here. So there's a multitude of them. The June 6th levels got 400,000 shares out there. Well, shoot, it's done 374. So it should be able to take that out. It's also trading into the swing from May 12th, 839,000 there. So no problem. And it's also trading into the swing from March 13th, 770,000 out there. So Hain Celestial getting a nice little pop out here. And then if it can make it all the way up, and I suspect this is probably what it wants to do, is get all the way back into the trading session of January 21st. That's got 1 million shares out there. The low of that trading session is 95.28. I suspect that is where it is headed to, and maybe it'll try to go ahead and take that out. If it can't, it's got one heck of a consolidation that it would be setting up. That is on ticker symbol HAIN, Hain Celestial out there. If we take a look at Illumina, ILMN, that's up about $3, up $1.77 right now. Illumina up and above its market profile resistance area, 170.02. That puts it into a nice bullish mode out here. It has a high-ish volume high out here. That's from this little sell-off that took place on July 24th. That was after that's quite frankly, its 52-week high was formed on that day, and it was right after earnings. But it has volume up at those highs, and suggests that price wants to get back up there and test that level. That's at 185 even. Steven, that is on Illumina. If we take a look at a couple things here, let's see what's moving to the downside with any kind of conviction. Hertz. Hertz is in a little bit of pain this morning. Now that has gapped down, did not form an island bottom, but it's hurting a lot of folks out here. Anybody who bought over the last 5 or 6 days out here is hurting. And yesterday, as an example, the equity closed at 31.56. Now, the news out here is that with all the recalls by GM, I believe, maybe Ford as well, that they're struggling to find cars out there. Boy, that should be news to some other car manufacturers out there. So we'll see what happens. But right now, it's just pulled back to a level of support. It's on the daily basis, market profile low, 27.38. So a break of that would not be good. Volume to the downside so far this morning, 17 million shares out there. Let's take a look. If this area breaks with inside of Hertz, where does it pull back to? Well, where it pulls back to is probably right here. It has a untested low, high volume low, I should say, and that is on the trading session of November 5th, 2013. And that low is all the way down at 1973. So if Hertz is able to crack its most recent swing point, hasn't cracked a swing point here yet today, that would be the level from August the 7th. If Hertz closes below 678 out there, a pretty good chance that that's where she will go ahead and make a run to that little high volume low. Now, total different story if we take a look at Avis, right? Avis, I believe, is a car. Got to like that ticker symbol out here, Avis Budget Group. And if we take a look at its daily chart out here, it's moved down just a bit this morning, but it's traded off of the lows out here. So it must be the difference in the cars that they've got, or maybe Avis in the budget, went after a different, different model cars or what have you out there. But it's a very strong-looking stock chart out here. In fact, for Avis to fall, for CAR, the ticker symbol, it's got some really nice support out here on the trading session of August the 12th out there. And that was several days after its most recent earnings. So that's what's going on inside of those. The markets right now are flat. We'll go back and take a look at the markets a little bit later. But right now, with them being flat, not much to really take a look at. So let's look at a couple of things here, popping and dropping. Then I wanted to take a look at the currencies. I did mention that currencies were moving as well. But let's see here. To the downside, you've got IDEX Labs. IDXX is the ticker symbol. It's off about 2% down, 360. Right now trading into its market profile low. Let's go see what other patterns might be set up in this equity out here. At some point in time, this is going to trade all the way back up to its high from July 25th. It should. High volume out there. It was a sell-off right from the get-go. That was right after an earnings date as well. That was its 52-week high. So it does have that. So at some point, it should make a run for the 140 area, round number high. Our man Basil Chapman, he loves that. So it had a nice round number high. Right now, it's in major pullback mode from that date. Now, where's anything that might support this equity out here as we take a look at it? If it closes below the swing point from August the 1st, only 689,000 shares. Today, it's already done 200,000 shares. If it can break below that low, which is 123.66, it'll set up an A to B equals CD to the downside. It'll be a doozy, too. And by doozy, what I mean, if we start with the high of that 52-week high, round number high, $140 even, Steven. That's your A point. Your B point is that swing that I just referred to from August the 1st, and that C point looks like it was the move up here from on August the 11th. And a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD would take you into the 112.75. You're trading right now at 125.21, right into its market profile high. So that's what's going on inside IDEX Labs. IDXX is the ticker symbol out there. Let's see, what else do we have? What else is moving out here? Let's go back and take a look at Tesla. I didn't do that yesterday. We take a look at Tesla 2 days ago, having made that 100% move of a move, and was doing that and was testing on light volume. So now we've seen a pullback. So now as we pull this on the pull this up here, let me go ahead and get rid of this. Delete that. Give me a moment here just to clean up the chart. Just a tad. There we go. So now let me do this out here inside of Tesla. Now what we may have is a little consolidation pattern setting up on our screen. So 265 level. First, let's take a look at 265. The volume on that trading session that it was testing, it was a high volume high, right? 24 million shares, and it was tested a couple days ago with only 5.8 million shares. Nowhere near enough to bust out those highs. Now what Tesla has done here on the daily chart is pulled back into its market profile support, which is also met with a little bit of a gap up that it had from the trading session of August the 8th, the high of which was 251.76. The low of the prior session, August 11th, was at 255. So a little bit of a gap up, a little sign of strength. 8 million shares out there, but we'll see. If you see it close below support on this thing, is going to be that 251.76. 252.11 is your market profile support, but a closing of that gap up there, that little junior sign of strength, probably sets up a run down to its lower set of swing points out here, and that would be really into, I'd have to say, into the trading session area. I'd use as the high of 225.49. Now, if you see volume of more than 13 million shares start to pick up as that level gets hit, that would not be a good scene. Otherwise, the target area would become from that area down to the swing point low from July 17th, right around 213.60. That would be my best call right now on Tesla out here. TSLA is the ticker symbol. Let's see here. To the upside, we've got, let me see, percentage-wise, we talked about Hain. How about Power Integration? POWI is the ticker symbol. And that's having a nice move out here. I don't see any news behind it, no numbers or what have you. In fact, yeah, there's no numbers because the last numbers date was July 29th out there. Now, this is taking out, well, it's moving into, this thing had gapped down pretty big. POWI, by the way, that's a ticker symbol. We're looking at April 30th trading session, 5.4 million shares to the downside, and that has acted, in essence, as a resistance area. The resistance area, that the level of that from that gap down didn't really hold, and we're trading back into it. So to a certain extent, that really should have been resistance. That window was repaired out here. So not unusual to see it breaking above that level today. Now, volume behind its move here, 190,000 shares, so nothing nowhere near that 5 million shares. Was 5 million? It was, 5 million shares to the downside. Nonetheless, it's breaking above swing points here, doing it with volume, it looks like, 726 from July 30th versus today already 190. From July 1st, it did 368. From the trading session of June 17th, 300,000. So you've got, in essence, a confirmed A to B equals CD to the upside. Let's go take a look at that pattern out here. The A point is going to be that high volume low. At some point in time, it'll go back and test that that area, or should go back and test that area. The B point is going to be this little swing here from July 1st, and your C point down here on July 28th. So looks like what this is suggesting that it wants to do here today is get up to 73.68. Now, let me put this on a weekly time frame. POWI is the ticker symbol again. That's what we're looking at, Power Integrations. And that's going to take it back up to its highs out here, beyond its highs, quite frankly. That's what it's trading into on the weekly basis. That swing was March 17th, 1.4 million shares. You've done 500,000. We're into what? We're just beginning Wednesday. So it looks like it's pushing into that swing point with the volume, especially the way that it is trading. So that suggests that at a minimum, that high 68.87 ought to be tested. That is on Power Integration. POWI is the ticker symbol. So we get back from this break. Let's go take a look at the currency pairs. We'll take a look at the euro yen. We'll take a look at the U.S. dollar Japanese yen. We'll take a look at the Great British pound out here and see if it's continuing to get a pounding. I believe yesterday it was traded into the 0.618 or 786 retracement level. I know one of them was. And we'll go see exactly what it is doing out here. What's the U.S. dollar Japanese yen? That's on its way to 103.50. 877-927-6648. Steve Rhodes, TFNN.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. Just doing some reminiscing here. Open up the show was talking about some of my experiences coming from the computer industry back in the early 80s. Now, what I've got on my screen here, if you're watching, that's the original laptop computer that I had back in 1983. So it was released in March of 83. We began developing the computer retail store in October of 1983. We opened it in 1984. Now, being a bean counter CPA by nature, I was taking care of, obviously, all the operations and the accounting aspects. And so and we were building that 13,000 square foot store in an old Montgomery Ward's tire and battery building. We took up the 13,000 square feet, and a company called Fuddruckers burger joint took up the other space out there. It was kind of nasty because the brick walls or what have you still didn't keep out the smell of them cooking all their burgers or what have you. But anyway, this thing was 28 pounds, it says, and I used to carry this thing back and forth. From the office to my house at that time, and I still believe. I think I still have this. I don't know if we ever really tossed it or not. I think I still might have it somewhere in a nook and cranny in my attic out there. And that was says the retail price, and that was $3,590 for a 2 floppy disk system. That was not the most expensive computer I bought. There was one that I bought before that in 19, maybe it was 80 or 81. It was a Victor, VICTOR, Victor Comptometer. You might remember them, those of you that go way back. They were, at one point in time, they owned the cash register in the computer industry. And, in fact, a guy named Chuck Peddle, I think he came from I think he was involved with Tandy. We were talking a little about Tandy. I believe Chuck Peddle came from there, and he decided to disband he totally destroyed Victor from the cash register because he said they were going full bore into making clones. Now, they had the best computer. I will tell you at that time, because I came from this industry, so whether it was Compaq, whether it was IBM, Apple, they had absolutely the best because they had somehow created a disk drive that had, I think it was 1.2 megabytes. I don't remember what it had as far as the storage, but it was a great computer out there. I paid a lot of money. In fact, I paid $10,000 for the computer with 1 or 2 floppy drives and a dot matrix printer from Epson out there. Boy, talk about that compared to what it is that we have today. In any event, boy, so much for being able to go take a look at the currencies out here. Now I got to do that in the flash. Let's take a look at the euro-US dollar, still on its way down into the price point here, the 1-to-1 A to B equals CD, down to the 1.3209, also the 0.618 retracement level. So it looks like that's where the euro is headed to. The U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, moving higher today. It's got an A to B equals CD. That takes in the 103.50 level. And if we take a look at the Great British Pound, we're seeing a bit of a bounce out here. If I take a look at possible retracements, let's go put those wonderful Pesavento patterns out here. We'll see a 0.618 retracement off of the lows from February 5th. This is what we looked at yesterday, joining together with a 0.786 retracement off of March 24th out there and a 1.272 expansion of June the 11th. As we said yesterday, this is an important area of potential support, having all those Fibonacci numbers come together. But it looks like, I mean, this is a straight move down out here inside of the great British pound. Looks more like this might be trying to set up an A to B equals CD to the downside. Right now, this little bounce today, nothing more than working off a bit of an oversold condition out there. Well, folks, it is Wonderful Wednesday. Thanks, as always, so much for joining us here at TFNN. If you're off to start your day, have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Take care.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
You're watching Tiger TV.